Healthcare Hustle. We are here today to demystify the world of DPH and how they work with the design and project team as a whole. So with us today, we have Tony Bruno, extraordinaire from the state of Connecticut, DPH. We have had a long relationship with Tony over many, many projects, and everybody says it's a hard process, and part of it is, but we're going to talk about how to make it a little easier, a little bit more comfortable, and in the end, better for the patient, because that's the grand scheme of things. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Excellent.
So Tony, my heart's like racing. I feel like you're a celebrity, you know, and I'm like meeting you for the first time. So I have some questions as kind of a younger novice guy. One of them being, when does the design team even know when to come to you for a project? How does that process start?
The best way to interact with the design team, DPH, and the end user, which would be the owner and property manager, is to be right out of the box up front. So to answer the question is, it's nice to right out of the box when the facility comes to you, gentlemen, and wants you to design something for them. We all get to the table at the same time.
What are the major items that you're looking for, during your drawing review?
So our initial drawing review is looking at the facility as a whole design based on the FGI guidelines. So Facility Guidelines Institute for Healthcare Facilities. That guideline is our actual code that's adopted by the Connecticut Department of Public Health as our code set. Additionally, we have fire codes and building codes we have to go by. But we look at the design for that to make sure the facility is laid out in a fashion where it flows from patient care, patient onset to the patient care area to the exiting of the patient, whether it be a nursing home, a hospital, or any sort of healthcare facility. So it's the actual design and the layout of it. All of my staff in our office are fire marshals certified in the state of Connecticut and or nationally, as well as I'm the only building official in my unit. So we all have a background in fire or building. Because it all comes in it's not just healthcare and FGI, it's that plus building plus fire. We rely heavily on the local jurisdiction to look at the building side of it and the fire side of it. When the design professionals provide the stamped drawings, we rely on that stamp to say we designed it as compliant as we can possibly see. The locals look at it on their end, and then we look at it overall. So we're looking at a lot of the healthcare design and then the fire and building on top of that.
Right, so once you're kind of done looking at those drawings, your job stops there, right?
Job never stops there.
Oh, come on. So what comes out after that?
So that was a loaded question.
I tried.
When the locals are done looking at the drawing and they do their inspection, their job stops there. And I'm not taking that away from anybody because we all work together and we're all the same classification. Our job never stops there. Our job continues on to progress inspections, schedule, maybe unscheduled inspections or scheduled inspections, and actually the final completion to turn the building over to the owner or the facility.
So to drill down a little bit more on that, I mean, typically, depending on the size of the project, we could see a 50, a 75, and 100%. The 50 and the 75 are always nice. They're kind of like specialized drawing reviews kind of thing. But the 100 is where really the rubber hits the road, right?
That's the 13th hour that things go back.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
We've been lucky. So what are the sticking points that you're always going to keep an eye open for?
I want to answer your kind of talk about the initial thing, the 50 and 75. It all depends on the project size. So we have a multi-phase project, whether it's a multi-story building with several floors or a multi-phase project such as this, maybe one area is going to be done sooner than another. We're going to typically schedule 3 inspections at minimum for each phase. So we could have a 5-phase project and have a multitude of inspections, not just 3, but maybe 15. So that leads into the next question. What we're looking for initially on 50 to 75%. 50 is we're at a stage where the renovation or the project, build out is studded out, kind of getting a layout of what is what, and doing a flow from whether it's a staff flow or patient flow, how we're getting in and getting through the patient care areas.
It could be roughed out, no drywall.
No drywall typically. It's usually roughed out. Probably some mechanicals going in, wet electrical and so on. And just to get a floor plan layout and eyesight on it of what's going on and where things are based on the plans that we had approved. And then the 75% would typically be probably drywall, ceilings open, drywall. Possibly at that point in time, depends on the project size again, looking at penetration, close up penetration, voids and penetrations.
All your 1 hour enclosures.
1 hour enclosures, firewalls and rated and so on, so we're looking at that.
So things change though from when you guys review the drawings to when the layout gets implemented. So should the design team be sending you changes as they happen?
Absolutely, so when the design is approved, initially reviewed and approved, a letter goes out to the design team and or the facility ownership, and there's a paragraph, the last paragraph in there, any changes to the actual design during construction where we may run into some sort of hurdle, we have to change something, those have to be relayed back to our office as an addendum or something, so we know we're on site.
But we never find a column in a wall or something that makes us change the design. Never, ever.
Probably never on your side. The funny part about it is, those addendums that we were just talking about, almost never come to our office. There's plenty of them out there, and we do find them at the $13 as you spoke about.
Well, literally just last week, we had that happen in a project in the northern part of the state. We had a column that popped up. We made a judgment call there, and it seemed like when you walked through a 75, you said, maybe we need to tweak this a little bit. And we had that conversation, and that's how we interact with them. And everybody's open communication, conversation.
Yep.
And we didn't get it 100% right. We got maybe 90% right in our gut call. And then with a conversation, you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's all about communication, communicating with each other.
100%.
You know, I know at that project, you weren't there at that specific day. When I was there, we saw a little, you know.
A little bump in the wall.
Yeah, a little bump in the wall, a little non-compliant issue, something that just didn't work for the Florida patient. And when we brought it to the attention, the communication, all of us getting together, whether it be on the phone, a conference call, on Zoom, or on site, we figure it out. And that's what I stressed starting at the beginning from the design plan. If we're not all at the same table all the time, and we need to be, then things could go backwards, and that's what we don't want.
One of the things that took me a while to realize, maybe I shouldn't say that, but we're on the same team, you know, and everything that we do is about the patient and the patient care. So it's not like we don't butt heads as much as I really thought we would, because what you want is also what we want, and when we find those conflicts, we work together to resolve them. I think that's really important.
That's a great point.
So when you're on site, has there ever been like one or two like really big things that you caught that, you know, or you wish you could tell the architect to maybe do differently? Is there any kind of advice or tips that you could give a design team to really nail this DPH review process?
If everybody watched the video all the way through, this is the little nugget at the end.
I got an answer for you.
No pressure.
I'm going to start from the beginning from what you said. We're on the same team.
Yeah.
We, as code officials, design professionals, the end result for the users and the patient, you know, patients that are being cared for, we're all on the same team. We want the best for the patient. So there's a lot of people have a misconception of code officials come in and they scatter, they run. It's amazing when I see sometimes in a normal, not a construction inspection, but a normal inspection, we don't see a staff person in sight because they're gone, they're afraid of us. But that's not the case. I don't want anybody to ever feel that way. In my tenure at the state, I've always tried to say, we're on the same team, we're working together. Communication is key. Let's not run away from each other, let's help each other, because if you know something and I have to try to find it, why don't you just tell me we can figure it out rather than me find it and there can be detrimental issues and you know, violations of that. Let's work it out at the beginning. So the trick is communication, trusting each other, communication from the start to the finish, and just working together to get the best result. Safety in mind for the patients, safety in mind for the staff, and patient care is our most priority, making the best of everything. So there's not a single trick, there's just, the trick is communicating and keeping everybody together. If you're at a facility, you're designing a facility for somebody, and we're going to be the inspectors coming out, obviously, make sure your facility staff knows that we're all friends. We're all here for everything. Let's not try to hide something and cover it up, and maybe they won't find it. Because maybe we won't find it. Somewhere down the road we might. Maybe we won't find it right then, but it's not a great way to go business.
And even if you don't find it, CMS or somebody else on the back end,
it's always going to pop up somewhere,
yeah.
and it could pop up on an end result of the facility finding that, well, we cut corners here, and it's really not working. We have a little problem, and you know, it's not a good thing. Just let's start from the beginning, fresh, do it the right way, and there's going to be changes that are going to come up, and things we have to jump over and stop the job for a second and review and kind of get together like we did last week on that north project. But let's do that, and then we're just well ahead of the game.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
He's not scary, really. And I know Nick was wicked nervous yet excited.
Can you see the sweat? It's there.
I love working with your firm and every firm out there. It's, you know, again, it's all communication. It's working together, gaining friendships, relationships, and trusting work environments.
Yep.
Without that, we have nothing.
Trusting the process, and in the end, the goal is the patient, like you said.
100%.